let's go to the phones. We're going to talk to Olivia, one of my favorite names, Olivia, because our oldest daughter's named Olivia. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Dr. Henry. This is crazy. I can't believe I got on.
Yeah, it's crazy to get. Only you got to be crazy to call me. That's kind of like what you're saying, right?
No, that's not what I meant. I just thought there's always such a long list. I didn't think I would get on. So,
You
but I'm so
you
happy.
won.
Great.
You won.
Yay.
Now,
Well,
are you on
thank
a
you.
speaker or blue? Are you on a speaker or Bluetooth or something, Olivia? You sound a little far away on
Oh,
my
okay, got that. Let me fix it. Here. My phone's messing up some. Okay, can you hear me better now?
end. That's so much better. That's so much better.
Oh, great. Sorry about that. But
All right.
well,
What can I do for
so enjoy listening to you, and you've always just been so helpful. And I love that you've been talking a lot about dating. So I do have a couple of dating questions for you, if that's okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Now wait a minute. Are
I'm
you
29
out
and
there? Are you out there in the dating world right now?
I am in the dating world. Yes. I recently even put myself out on online dating, did not have the best experience with that. So I feel like that's kind of triggered some more questions I have. But I'm
Well,
29. I'm
how?
going to
Wait a
be
minute. Wait a
30
minute. Wait.
in.
Hold on a second. I just got to clarify this. So you just put yourself out there. You got on a dating site?
Well, like I've been out there, like I live my life. I meet guys all the time. I'm meeting people, but I thought I would be even more active with it. And like with the start of the new year, I put myself on a dating website, but to be
Yeah.
honest, I had some really negative experiences with it.
Okay.
So,
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on, Olivia. I'm gonna push back here. I don't know what they
okay.
are yet, and I don't know. Maybe they're too injurious to even. They might. I don't know what they are. But would you not expect to have some negative experiences?
I guess I should expect that, but I
Okay.
think that I have
Good.
like such a romantic dreamer part of me that it's just like I don't know. It just it made me like it can be so easy
Uh,
for me to be very trusting because like
oh.
I'm just naturally a very trusting person. And I guess
Okay.
I was learning, especially with the world of online dating, I guess you shouldn't be that trusting.
I wouldn't be that. You know what? Are you a person of faith?
Yes, I am.
You ever read the Bible?
Yes.
If you've ever read the Bible, there's a lot of things you can find in the Bible, right? But
Mhm.
one of them is the last probably the last bunch of people we ought to be trusting are human beings. So I'm a person
Yeah.
of faith. I read this book, and if it says anything, it says there are some really good humans, but not all of them are good. And we got to figure out our people pickers so we can spot the balance because we better hide from the rest because there are some bad actors out there. And that's how dating is too. So anyway, I just want to say that. So
Huh.
what
That's
tell me how I
good.
can help you. What's your question?
Well, one of my main things I was just wondering is like how can I not take rejection so personally?
Oh, well, tell me about
And
that.
um
What what do you mean when somebody
well,
doesn't call you back?
um like I guess because I've been even on some of your recent shows like hearing even when what's her name Kateness was
Kate, yeah.
talking and like both of you both of you were saying about like putting yourself out there and I heard you
Well,
talk about like the
she
three
actually wrote a
P's.
book. She wrote a book called Thank You for Rejecting Me.
Right. Yeah, I did want to get
Yeah.
that. Um, but I just feel like it can be very easy. I know I'm not supposed to take that rejection so personally, but I feel like whenever I am rejected or if I'm ghosted or even like with the
Mm,
online dating, there's a
yeah.
few instances with that where even like after going out with the person and thinking like, wow, like had a really great time with him. And then just unexpectedly like being ghosted. It just, anytime that happens, it just makes me go back to like, okay, is something wrong with me? Am I not enough?
Yeah.
And
That's pretty,
I know that like,
you know
oh,
what?
I'm sorry. I was saying, I know that like people have told me like, well, when someone's like ghosting you, typically you should look at like maybe that person isn't ready for like the emotional involvement or, but rather than thinking that there's something on their end, I feel like I just always look at myself and be like, well, no, something's wrong with me.
Okay. So your question is, how do you change that?
Right.
Is that right? Okay. Well, let me let me start with something. That's not a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
That's that is the way we were designed. See,
Yeah.
we're supposed to get our picture of our value, okay, our worth, if you will, from relationship. That's the way we're designed.
Hmm.
So a baby comes into the world, and if they are met with that smiling face, I mean, you can even watch this. We can do brain scans and videos. There's all sorts of, you see a little child, if somebody comes to them with open arms and smiling and they just have it, it's like a babygasm. They're just like, they're just floating around in just heavenly feelings. I'm loved, I'm wanted, I'm desired, I'm valued, because they're key relationships, the homes that we are born into, the relationships we're born into. They welcome us, and that love and that being desired registers as I am loved and I am wanted and I am desirable. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got me? So that's the way we're designed. Now, once somebody is designed like that, they carry that inside, and it has to be fueled, but they carry it around inside, and then they go out to the playground, and some kid is mean to them, and what do? They go, "Gosh, he's weird," and they or she's weird, and they run back home and say, "Mommy, there is like this weird person out there," and see, because I'm loved, then if somebody's not nice to me, I think something's wrong with them. What's wrong with them? They're not like the people at my house. They're not kind. See, it registers as counterfeit. It registers as darkness. It registers as
Hmm.
unfamiliar because you're coming from a secure base. So when people that have a secure base inside of them enter into the sales world or the where there's a lot of rejection, sales or acting is another one, or performing where you got to go on 1,000 auditions and all of that kind of stuff,
Right.
or dating, right? The
Mm-hmm.
great ones, they feel very secure, and not only does that help them not internalize rejection, it also helps them perform better, right? So they get less
Yeah.
rejections because they're more of who they are. But even when they're
That's
rejected,
good.
they go, oh, well, and it goes off. Now, if we grow up and we're getting wired in our formative years and all these tapes and everything are inside of us, tapes, I just dated myself, digital files in your head are inside of yourself, that the way it works is I'm going into every situation. Am I good enough? I don't feel good enough. Are they going to like me? Are they going to get mad at me? Are they going to withdraw from me? Because that's what I've experienced. Then every single dating interaction or every sales call or every audition becomes a test where my entire being is on the line, and this person has the capacity to judge me as wantable or unwantable.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know you, but if we had the video, right, I would probably guess that maybe there are some dynamics in there in your life of where it's been a lot of performance orientation or something where that basic security that you need more of is kind of like lacking a little bit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would say some of that's accurate.
Okay. So, how do we fix that? Well, you don't just fix it by trying to change your mind, which is important. You said, you can't really interpret it that way. That's very important. But you also got to get your home base, the people, your family. And I'm not talking about your family of origin because adults' family needs to be their spiritual family, their relationships that they have
Hmm.
chosen that know them deeply and love you. And you need that tribe that you go out into the dating world and run back to, and you have a grounded home base. And then
Right.
you're starting to feel lovable and wantable. And then that group begins to evaluate these yo-yos out there that you're dating. And
That's
so
really good. Yeah.
that's what you gotta do. And also you gotta, exactly like you're saying, um, each reject, and unless there's some reason, if somebody's a jerk and they've never developed any relationship skills and they go on a date just to sit there and stare at the person like this. And they if they haven't developed the ability to have a conversation, have something interesting about them and their life, and this, that, and the other, then obviously who's going to want to go out with me again if I just sit there and stare at the person the whole time? But if normal people and you've got, stuff going on and you're intelligent and you're funny and, you have an interesting life, right? So then you go and you feel
Hmm.
good about that. So then you go out on a date and this guy doesn't call you back. All right. Well,
Hmm.
like you're saying, I live in LA. People go on auditions all the time. Actors, you know, auditioning for a part. It's dating. And so what happens? They don't get called back. Now, I know a lot of A-list actors that you would know, right? Don't get called back sometimes. Why? Because the script and the director, that wasn't what they were looking for that movie. But they don't take it personally. They just didn't fit that character.
Right.
So a lot of people are going to be looking for something based on their own pathology, based on their own development, based on whatever. You're not right for their movie. That's not anything bad about you.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
So I got to ask you though, um, how many of these rejections have you had? You said you ventured out there because you sound pretty
Um,
cool to me.
I I sound pretty what?
You sound pretty cool to me.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, I guess I just feel like I travel for work, so I'm living. I feel like I live my life to the fullest, and I'm not like hiding or anything. Like I'm a very friendly person when I go out. Like even if I'm like interested in someone, like I don't know, I won't like shy away from that person. Like I'll put myself out there. I'm fine with doing
That's
that,
good.
and um, but then I just feel like even like if it didn't turn into a relationship, just a lot of times like I feel like I'm interested in someone and then I guess I kind of take that as a rejection of like, well, there is no reciprocation. Or sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing everything I know to do to put myself out there, but just haven't had um too much, which I mean, I guess I shouldn't look at it completely as rejection because sometimes, I mean, even with like things that have turned into like actual serious relationships, um, if I do really
So you
look at
do get
those, I feel
dates.
like most of the time, what was that?
You do get dates.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like been more recently trying to be open, like what I've been hearing about, even like you don't have to figure out if that person's the one,
Oh
before
my
you know them
gosh.
or on the first date. Because I think that I'm kind of, as crazy as that sounds, I think that I've put that pressure on me before of like, well, if I don't feel like the call of God lines up, or if I don't feel like there's potential, then I don't even consider that person. But I've been trying to be
Yeah.
more open to like, well, let
Good
me
for
give that
you.
person a chance. So
Good for
thank
you.
you.
Good for you.
But
Well,
even like
just
in relationships, oh, what was that?
even in relationships, what? And I got to get some other
Well,
callers,
like,
but I wanted to hear this part.
yeah, right. But actual like relationships, I mean, I think that I am the one when it has turned into like a long-term relationship. Most of the time, I have been the one that has like stepped back from that. And then that's
Ah,
kind of like another question too of like, which is kind of like the opposite spectrum of I'm wanting to make sure that like I think that idea of like trying to find this like dream person, like what is the balance between like how would I word this? I guess just knowing like when it's right to like fully commit and not like, because I've heard people say like about don't just like settle or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I need more clarity with that as
Okay. Well,
um
it's a whole, it's a whole nother topic. It's a good one. It's important, but basically, here's going to be the dynamic tension that you will never find a perfect person.
right.
Okay. You won't. You just won't. But there are, I think of it like a seesaw, okay, a fulcrum, right? If the seesaw is on one side, right, leaning on one side, and that's the unhealthy side, or the something's really missing here side, or this person's dysfunctional, or they don't have good character, or whatever, then you're supposed to be saying no to those. That's not being too picky, okay?
Mhm.
But when you've developed yourself to where you're not getting sucked into bad actors all the time, or hurtful people or shallow people, or even settling just so you're in a relationship just so you won't be alone, and you get over to the other side. Now if you're starting to have a trail, and this is why I tell people you got to get your numbers up. If you're starting to have a trail, a big herd of really really good ones that you're rejecting, then we have to ask, I just went through, you know, 65 good people and I found something wrong with every one of them, then that generally speaks to there's some sort of defensive maneuver that's happening to protect something about you. So that's why I
Mhm.
say you got to have enough, you got to have enough numbers to find out what are your false negatives and your false positives. Okay, I got to run, Olivia, and go to some other calls. Thank you for your call, and I hope that you get that
Thank
get grounded enough to where when you go out there, one rejection, that person doesn't have the power to determine whether you're lovable or not, because we think you are. All right.